the playmakers for the team that needs to be held in check.
And this is the matchup that I'm truly excited for. Sven and Mithy facing across from Licrit and A Miracle. I'm really excited to see them step up and kind of go toe-to-toe with this bloodthirsty support.
I mean, on paper, we have to be honest, Sven and Mithy should smash that 2v2.
Yes.
We'll see whether they can as we are into Champion Select. Sivir and Olaf will be taken away by Albus NoX, and G2 going to get rid of the Nidalee and the Syndra. So two champions that we're not going to see in back-to-back games.
I'm so surprised that we haven't really seen a big emphasis on that Aurelion Sol after the ban. It was definitely a meta pick in the scrims, but maybe the continued kind of disabling of that champion has led to just playing different champions and building like relationships between champions that they can't slot Aurelion Sol into.
And it's not just even the scrims. We saw Aurelion Sol before the ban came through, you know, hitting the ban bitch, the fact that RNG did pick it, tried to play it into that mid game. So it's not like teams came into the tournament and didn't want anything to do with it. He just hasn't shown up.
Well, Kennen, the final ban here for Albus NoX, and the Jace, the answering ban. So still a lot of champions available. The jungle pool only getting hit by the Nidalee.
Yeah, as this tournament progresses, it's quite some of these teams rather are moving bans to the top lane. Kennen, Rumble, Jace continuously being pressured. Leaves the likes of Irelia open. Let's not forget, Expect used to be a very predominantly only Irelia player. He has obviously shown versatility in his champion pool, but he may pick it up again later.
Well, then Elise will be locked in there for Smurf. PvP Steos on an early ganking jungler. See whether that is going to be what gets them over the line, as Expect thinking about the Rumble. These would make some sense, these picks, but Elise in seeing less and less success.
I really like that they are narrowing the top lane champion pool and then prioritizing getting that Rumble. Rumble has been blind picked a lot throughout this tournament. He's shown himself to be a very capable and safe laner. I especially like it when he's used in tandem with Lee Sin, because then you're bringing physical damage through your jungler if you want to run that double AP, which we've seen a lot of this tournament.
Quite hard to gank though, that's the only caveat right there.
Yeah.
If you want to gank a Rumble Lee lane, there is no hard to see, so flashes can turn that around, especially in a 2v2. Elise has the advantage that a Cocoon leads to instantaneous follow-up, but G2 is pivoting and they lock in the early karma.
Yeah, instead using that flex pick there, so we don't know if that's going to go in Mithy's hands, if it's going to go in Perk's hands, so still hiding their cards a little bit, facing across from Luna.
Yeah, a lot of flexibility here with these two. As we head over, we'll see what Albus NoX decide to complement this Elise with. Currently thinking about high pressure AD carry for A Miracle. I have a feeling Licrit's going to hold on to his pick. Of course, no brand ban. Yeah,
no brand. Karma lane's fine in both brand support and Bard support. She's a fine range mage that turns into more utility later on. The problem when you play a lot of these mage supports, it's that they kind of have to index into AP, and it's very hard to find harmony between AP itemization and support itemization. Karma solves that kind of beautifully by moving into the utility role later on while still having really strong base damages.
And we can clearly see that in Licrit's stat for his Sightstone. He has the latest Sightstone of any support in the tournament. It takes him 9 minutes and 50 seconds before he builds that Sightstone, so he is no stranger to that AP itemization.
Yeah, and for people that have like, when does a support finish his Sightstone? That's roughly like a minute 30 later than you would expect the average Sightstone to come out.
I believe the average for the tournament is about 7:15.
Well, he does like his Frost Fangs, the old Licrit. Of course, not on the likes of Tahm Kench. She was playing last time we saw him. Mean Frog, and it is still available. It's now Perks having a look at the Zed. Sven having a look.
These are
at
definitely
the
tribute hovers. Perks not likely to pick blind Zed, especially when you have rotation to go.
Unless he's
super
super
safe. And Trundle, technically a double flex here too, can still move into the support role. Mithy plays a really mean Trundle, has really good pillar placement.
And it's also a takeaway from Smurf, because he's also shown phenomenally on that pick himself. So I like the fact that you're like you said, getting multiple flex picks in there, still hiding your hand, not giving away everything, and then also denying a power pick, limiting that top lane champion pool away from Smurf.
Yeah, it's going to be the third time in a row that we've seen the Trundle picked into the Poppy towards the top side of the map. So pretty comfortable in that counter pick is G2.
Like this draft from G2. Love me some flex in, especially if you have the counter pick on red side.
Oh,
Definitely.
I know, Crepo. I know how much you love to flex.
Oh, it is going to be Ezreal picked up as well.
Licrit's hair is phenomenal.
It's glorious. Yeah.
I look like a peacock, but that guy just flowing mane of fabulous Fabio hair.
You could get a job as like one of the hair product advertisers
L'Oreal,
after his
because brand
professional...
support is worth it.
Oh my God! Speaking of which, And that is going to be 2 signature champions locked in for Albus NoX, Luna, the Anivia for Kira. 100% win rate throughout the regular season, didn't play it all that much, and the brand support for Liquid.
Yeah, they finish off their composition, the composition of ice and fire here. Anivia mid lane blind is bold. There have to be counter picks here. Luckily, Cinder's off the board, so the early pressure on Anivia is hard, but a Cleanse Cassiopeia could do the trick. It's really hard to play post 6, but you can definitely win that matchup early. But we could see some of the more standard picks, though, like an Orianna come out. Maybe if Perkz is feeling confident, cast it in, but I think I like the Orianna the most.
And if this Orianna does get locked in, it will mean that Mithy will be picking up that Karma. So again, the very self-sufficient Ezreal Karma lane. Across from a brand support, though.
You need to lock in the Karma support, because against the brand support, you can get the jungle poked out. But I think Ezreal Karma is more than fine as long as you don't eat the brand Q. The trick to play against this lane is to hide in the creeps, but step out of W, but then never eat the Q and hide behind minions. So I think Sven and Mithy are both smart enough to achieve that.
Yeah, we saw them yesterday actually playing fantastically well against the Rock's bottom lane, so I expect that they will understand how to play this one out, especially with solo queue experience. That is going to be a team composition. The Orianna will be locked in for G2.
And late game, how is Albus NoX Luna going to win a fight that when they're not ahead? Because they have a very short range on a lot of their players here. And G2 is running a phenomenal kite composition. If Trundle wins the side lane, which he will later on because of the nature of his ultimate, the remaining 4 members of G2 can always stave off engages by simply walking backwards. Disengage from kick, disengage from the zone from Orianna ulti, and then Ezreal and Karma. There are no better bot lane kiting duo.
And I also love the bridging power spikes across G2's composition. The fact that you have the early game presence of the Lee Sin, that Orianna does really well in that 3-item kind of little bit late game, mid game. And then Ezreal's really going to take over that mid game. So at every point in this game, they should have an answer that they can look somewhere.
Yeah, and be able to do battle against the Elise. PvP Steos has a lot on his plate this game.
So much pressure on this Elise. He needs to break open the early game, find an opening, get a gank, maybe get the brand support rolling, roam together, you know, cocoon into stun lock. He has to control the early game.
And that's the thing, though. He's got so many options and opportunities. He can look towards that bot lane. Lucian Brand, that's super heavy kill pressure. Their 3v3 is absolutely terrifying when you include Elise in that. Or he can look top lane, try to slow down that Trundle, make sure that there's not a 4-1 available option for G2.
But it's so hard to gank a double range bot lane, so it is likely that Seos is going to group up with an Anivia in the mid lane or just head top. You know, both these lanes can guarantee CC plus follow for the cocoon here. So much is possible on the top side of the map for ANX.
That's exactly right. But remember, fly your fandom flag on Twitter. Use the hashtag ANXWin if you believe in Albus NoX, or the hashtag G2Win if you believe in Europe.
And say hi to that guy's mom.
Hi.
Hi. You should have put a name there. How are we supposed to say? Never mind.
I love fan signs.
We are going to be hopping onto the Rift, and we'll see whether it's going to be another ANX victory. They do have momentum moving into this one, but G2 looked hungry in their game against the Rox Tigers.
And already you see such an aggressive positioning from Liquid and A Miracle to start this, having that brand support behind them, waiting for Sven or Mithy to walk into vision.
Yeah, but it's very rare from watching Sven and Mithy a lot. They're pretty smart at figuring out the ways to counter, so sidestep. Once abilities go on cooldown, you have counter trade potential.
Yeah, there it is.
And again, these bot lanes are fairly familiar with each other. They get to see Liquid a lot in solo queue, but meanwhile top.
Yep, Smurf in trouble. Nice Q. Slows down Trick. He throws a buckler at him as well for good measure. So everyone just testing one another. I believe G2 came out ahead on that front though, as Kira doesn't find the stun onto Perkz. And
Find a few sidesteps already here. Both Q and Brand W have in sidesteps so far.
Also great manipulation of Fog of War, making sure that he's stepping in and out of that brush to lay down just a little bit of damage on Perkz with the auto attacks.
Nothing really to talk of just yet though, just everyone getting their eye in on their skill shots.
Slowest moving auto attack in the game. Credit where it's due.
They actually
not too bad on this particular skin as well.
This is true.
No, they fixed it in general for Anivia here. Early push is very important, but Orianna is actually getting it.
Yeah, cute little pillar there from Liquid on the bottom side as Mithy throws back a cube. It doesn't hit the minion wave.
Yeah, gets the backhand though. Look at his range keep. There's already poked down, so in range support matchups, it's incredibly important that you get the push going here. Aggressive trading here, good use of minions too. But that ball is so annoying to play against. Like trying to last it as Anivia while keeping track of Orianna's ball and dodging ganks at the same time is very hard feat.
Of course, Kira does have a lot of practice on the champion, known as the Anivia player. Licorice doesn't find that pillar of flame. Sven doesn't find the Q though. Albus NoX just going to move themselves back, calm things down.
Yeah, but you already have the advantage for Sven and Mithy right now because they're both level 2, whereas Licorice is still sitting at level 1. So taking control of the lane right now with their poke.
Yeah, Mithy definitely playing for utility here. First getting caught here by a couple of good combos from Kira. Mithy playing for that utility later on with the Wind Speakers. No Thunderlord's Karma. Trick just passing through mid lane. Has been spotted here, so he could eat the Cocoon on the way in, but he's actually just gonna deflect here and go for the Scuttlecrab. Just getting the Scuttlecrab vision is really good because at least can't actually go over walls as easily as like a Rek'Sai. So River Vision means that now Mithy and Sven can keep pushing bot lane and put a ward in Tribush and actually be safe while still maintaining a lot of pressure.
Oh, another stun from Kira.
We need a stun counter graphic at this point.
He's really got his eye in though. Those first couple of misses, he needed him. You know, because now he's hitting him left, right, and center.
Calibrating.
Yeah.
If you're not familiar with Kira, Anivia is his signature champion. He also did win the 1v1 All-Star tournament for the IWC regions.
It's actually a pretty funny guy. He says he used to be the equivalent to Froggen because he played Anivia a lot. Then he both moved his champion pool and he actually got a daughter. And he's like, now I'm more of the Alex Leach kind of guy. And he said his next goal is like, I just want to be the next Faker.
All right. Well,
Progression in mid laners.
enjoying some broccoli perhaps as well. Mithy, Name Miracle. Facing off, looks like the support versus AD carry, that particular stage.
And they're definitely keeping the Brand support locked down because Brand can't actually hit his spells that easily. W is sidesteppable, and then the Q follow-up can be blocked by minions, and it's so much easier to do that while you're pushing.
That's the big thing, the fact that his CC is on a skill shot. So if you have more minions in front of you, if you're always pushing, it's going to deny any of that hard CC and a lot of that kill pressure that Brand support will bring.
Yeah, and look, the combination of that Scuttlecrab and that Tribush ward that we mentioned made it so that Steos had to waste so much time, and now Trick can move into Fog of War completely unspotted here, and if Mithy can kind of act his way into a potential dive.
Oh, the cute little wall, and Perks takes so much damage. The cleanse not gonna work out. In goes Steos to flash forward, and that's first blood for Kira.
Oh, we saw Faker do this yesterday, just cleansing a little bit too fast.
And it's actually much harder in the Anivia matchup because when an Anivia lets her Q go through the enemy, you expect them to flash. So most Anivias want to pop it really early, but Kira held it pretty long, so Perks actually cleansed early, I believe. Let's watch this again. Let's see what happens with this Q. Wall comes out to guarantee the path. Q comes through. Pretty early pop. Pretty bad cleanse. Honestly, Perks just misplayed this. This wasn't a massive outplay from Kira. Yes, he landed a skill shot, but at this point, you got to flash.
Oh, and Mithy now in trouble on the bottom side. Good exhaust under Steos as the Brand passive is going to explode. In comes Expect and just chomps down on the Brand support. In goes the heroic charge though from Smurf, but he gets destroyed in answer as G2 three-man squad heading towards ANX. Expect launches forward, catches a cocoon.
It looked good for G2 initially, but both teams kind of over-eager, over-aggressive, and they trade support for top laner, but that's both teleports now burned.
Yeah, super good cocoon there at the end because I think he was actually going for the flash auto reset.
Is that blind?
They knew where Mithy was roughly as he walked in. Both teleports come in here, so they finish off Liquid. Then Expect kind of goes for the chase instead of peeling. That pillar, I think it stopped the charge for Poppy. It's a really good pillar interaction. But right now, he wants to go for auto into Q, and right before he gets his auto or Q off, he eats a cocoon here. So over-eager from Expect, trying to make the hero play here. But that pillar, though, canceled heroic charge.
Yeah, and we was talking about PvP Steos. We said that he's the one that needs to perform, and everyone believes it. As Albus NoX 62%.
LCL fans showing up in mass, but where are the EU LCS fans? Come on, guys, get in there.
Well,
that sums it up.
Damn right. The belief in this Albus NoX squad, it's there. See whether they can continue to perform. It's 500 gold the lead for this team.
And it's so important that Kira got that early kill because not only can he now keep the push up with some of the vision he has in River, he gets an early tier, which usually puts him back down in like a combat deficiency, but because he gets it so early and there's only a Dorn still match on the side of Perks, he actually has really good trades. He also gets his level 6 early, which means he can push, which in turn means that Perks has to use his mana to catch the wave, which loses Perks the kill pressure or the counter pressure here. So it's all these little things that add up to each other, making this matchup more favorable. And major props to Kira for landing these early Qs time and time again, and then having Steos come in for the kill.
But what I want to see then is Stehouse return for another kill. So Perks still doesn't have his flash, still doesn't have his cleanse available. They do have those timers, and I want to see it punished. We do see him hovering around the red buff right now.
Yeah, he's just looking to translate his advantage that he got from a matchup and to put it on Trick, because Trick is slightly ahead here. So Steos is looking to catch up. Also, that cleanse will be up soon. That's why Kira is also playing back here. Doesn't have jungle support. He is respecting the range.
Yeah, Mithy not deciding to commit to that gank in the mid lane as well. Kira had the wave push back towards him.
And now you can probably see Kira play more aggressive because they spot the Lee Sin and they know where everybody is right now, because Kira himself can't play too aggressively because he doesn't have flash. If he walks into Orianna ultimate plus Lee Sin follow-up, he will die.
Yeah. Well, Smurf just going to go back to farming things out, shoving this one towards the turret, does so very effectively. As in goes a Miracle. Good little arcane shift to get Sven out of the way of the piercing light.
And so far, 64 to 67, just kind of checking back in. Sven and Mithy have had control of the wave for the majority of this, but they're not really translating this into keeping a Miracle and Liquid down.
Yeah, the lane itself will never really snowball that far out. Like, Karma Ezreal will only win super hard if you get massive poke advantage. But there was also, remember, Steos spent a good 30 seconds hovering, giving pressure, basically telling Sven and Mithy, you can't walk up and poke, you can't win this lane farther. So in a sense, the fact that they're up about 10 CS in this matchup is winning it pretty hard.
Well, Trick looking to make that even harder. So he can head over that wall. We'll take a bit of a drink. Double ward. Nice. It's twice the vision, guys. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's not always that easy. I'm actually kidding. That ward is really easy. It's the one over the Dragon Pit.
Yeah, that's the tough one.
I don't even try that one anymore. I just walk around.
There was that thing where you're supposed to hit it on some certain part of the wall, but it's not about that.
The sign, but they moved the sign.
Ah, we're bastards. Smurf and Expect still just smacking on with one another. Perks goes and grabs himself a blue buff. PvP Steos got his own red buff as well as Tricks.
Perks has done a really good job kind of eating up time, staying out of the spotlight while waiting for his flash and his cleanse to come back up. So he will have both those summoners available. So we wanted to see PvP Steos kind of make a turnaround, come back towards the mid lane, try to punish that, but Perks has been able to wait it out.
It's impossible, because this is why this matchup looks really fun on paper, but this is also why people used to hate Season 2, because these guys...
Loved Season 2.
They're ranged mages. Well. They can farm from pretty far, and then they can move to Raptors and farm some more. They're pretty safe, especially with cleanse and flash up.
Shove the wave, walk away, hang out at your turret.
Yep.
See you in 5 minutes.
Well, Trick was looking for Smurf, but a little bit early on the aggression from Expect as he shoves Smurf out of the way. Trundle is just asserting dominance up here. 15 CS is the lead.
Pings in River on Liquid, so they see him moving towards the Dragon, indicating that G2 should know the Dragon's being started right now. That's also why the pressure is being pushed up in the mid lane. But G2 are going for reaction. They don't want to give up Infernal, but it's already too late.
Yeah, it's going to be taken here by Albus NoX. They may have to use double flashes, and they do, but that gets themselves out safely, and an Infernal Drake in their back pocket.
And they committed on the teleport. Expect followed through with it. Meanwhile, check out where Smurf is sitting. He's just sitting there waiting. Do I need to burn my teleport? Are you guys okay?
They're like, yep, we'll press an F button and it'll be fine.
They take the free objective and he gets to walk top.
Yeah, because G2 were trying to extrapolate on limited information. They saw Liquid move towards the Dragon, but unbeknownst to them, it had already been started 10, 15 seconds ago, so the Dragon was actually super low. They expected the Dragon to be like 95% HP by the time Liquid walked up, but it was actually walking up to secure the finish, and that kind of threw G2 off. Because they weren't certain, they just went ahead with the play, because one of the major things that cost them their game against CLG was being slow on the TP trigger. So this is a reaction from that earlier loss.
And a big difference between how Albus NoX found their victory versus INTZ is they didn't actually do it with a massive snowball. It wasn't like they, camped a lane, got a cheese, and then snowballed from there. Their game against CLG, or their victory against CLG, was actually very back and forth in terms of the gold lane.
Oh, a Miracle throws down the culling Sven. Gets himself out, holds onto his summoner spells, but yep, message received.
Still has heal available, so he was fine, but there's good pressure, good calling.
That's what I was just about to point out. The play-by-play casters get so excited. Meanwhile, I'm like, flash heal, he's fine.
Hey man, they were hitting each other with moves. It's really exciting.
Calling came out. Let me talk about it.
Exactly. Oh, Smurf, gonna bring the hammer down, or the lollipop down.
Also, there's no ward here. Maybe we can bait Expect in here. Poppy can set up for a really good cocoon if he just does the R first.
See whether he does. Yeah, throws it, Expect into the sky. As PvP Steos has to deal with some minions. Decent pillar, and the flash has to be used. Nicely done by Expect though.
Synergy on that gang could have been better. You can layer the spell so they land pretty much frame perfect here. Expect should always be able to get out with the flash, but slightly suboptimal on that gang.
So we just got word that Trick has only done 178 damage this game, whereas
Two champions.
Two champions. Where PvP Stayhost has done over 1,000 damage to champions.
What's in the name?
Yeah.
Meteos, apparently.
Well, Sven, take a fair bit of damage here as a Miracle gets the jump on him.
I like the record to state I was referencing the PvP part in PvP Stayhouse. I had nothing to do with this burn, and this was all for Skirm.
He played really well at 55 minutes.
He certainly did. Look at the highlight reel. Meteos winning the game. Say Miracle cops a Q to the face. Liquid wants to throw some pillars down. And oh, not going to land the Q there onto Mithy, but a Miracle now with his Ghost Blade done, utilizing the power spike, and the junglers turn up at exactly the same time, nullify one another.
Yeah, forces the flash from Mithy here right now. ANX, once they hit level 6, they have the kill pressure in this lane because they just unlock another killing ability, especially one that can bounce on the back end when you're trying to run away from the fight here. As opposed to Karma, as we talked about before, she translates into a utility carry right now. So this is the rough point for Sven. Still stacking that tier. Karma level 6 doesn't offer much combat potential. But Liquid and Miracle are sitting on a ton of damage, hitting the Yomu's power spike as well. So this is the breaking point. Bot lane for G2 has to be careful.
Not to mention the Frostfang power spike.
Hey, adds up.
Yeah, it's legit. Perks still able to get some decent damage onto Kira here. Goes down the ult just to try and get some last hits. And he already has his Rod of Ages completed. It's the last chapter there for Perks, wanting to build towards the Morellonomicon, but does have the Mercury's Treads, which is going to be important.
The Anivia Dream as well. Sitting on about 10 CS.
Dream.
Yeah, I've loved it. Like Anivia.
He knows
yes.
Anivia.
100% win rate, I'm pretty sure.
Nice meme. But like, if you get 10 CS per minute, you get early tier and you get your Run of Ages early, you can actually go one of the more like better builds because you can still alternate your build path later on. If you get behind in this build, you kind of have to go for an early Void Staff. But right now, even after Void Items, you can still finish Morellonomicon, Deathcap, Zonias. You can really play with what the game needs from you, as opposed to being forced to go for like an early Void Staff. So a really good spot here for Kira to be in.
Well, still putting the pressure on. Look at this. Doesn't need a minion wave. Shove this one out. Expands that Glacial Storm. Albus NoX do have a lot of pressure. We'll see whether Kira can actually get anything done elsewhere, but that bird doesn't move all that far.
So you have a back coming in for Sven and Mithy, and on this information, Albus NoX are actually moving in to contest this blue buff. We'll see if they catch Trick. He should be clear of the danger zone, but they're now rotating this pressure to look for the first tower advantage, and it's going down.
And it doesn't matter that G2 know this play is coming. There's nothing they can do about it. This is the changes to the new turret aggro. Kira caught off guard. If you trigger an aggro effect, even if the person is not under tower, but you are, and he's behind the tower, you will still get aggro here. So Kira getting surprised just a little bit.
Yeah, and this is a big deal. 2,000 gold now the lead for Albus NoX. PvP Stayhouse will find Mithy here. Uses the flash very early on as Kira jumps himself over.
Had to.
Yeah.
Just like flash.
Nice E as well.
This is the reaction from G2. They concede bot side, but they move into mid, hoping to zone them off in rotation, get a little bit of chip damage here, maybe some wards, at least force the summoner here. Was all they could do though. ANX.
Gentleman's agreement.
Yeah, the dance off on the top side of the map, and a Trundle will always win that battle. It makes the most sound.
When you deal so little damage in trades that it's worth dancing against each other.
That's when you know you got a good top lane matchup. But Albus NoX, after that small amount of excitement that we experienced in their jungle, do get to move forward.
Well, it's fine
down themselves.
because the arena is being set up right now. The Ocean Dragon is spawning in 7 seconds. Albus NoX made their reputation on the IWCQ tournament that they like to fight. So they're starting to set up their vision, and they're going to set this up. We'll see if G2 want to walk into it.
But their comp is so punishing for people that want to aggressively contest
look at the wall.
because they can block off. They also have 3 line skill shots that they can hit in Cocoon, the Anivia Q, and the Brand Q that they can use anything for a stun. So they have really good punish if they can get the control. The problem is they have a low range composition that has a hard time sometimes getting control of the areas. But with this lead, ANX are in a position to snowball here. And let's not forget this game. This is G2 Esports, 0-2 in this group. They're desperately looking for a win. To go 0-3 would be a complete failure. And yeah, they probably don't want to open up Reddit after this one.
Well, it's not necessarily about that. It's about the fact that they looked so good against the Rocks Tigers. That loss would have been crushing. We might be feeling the after effects of that here by G2. It's Albus NoX capitalizing on it. But remember, this Albus NoX squad have a lot of comfort champions. Everyone just feeling pretty good where they are. The brand support for Liquid couldn't be more comfortable. Spoken about Kira a lot.
In the same vein, though, I mean, you look at Sven's items, he's still waiting on big power spikes from the Ezreal. So there's no real pressure or onus on G2 that they need to make plays right now. So don't look at this gold lane and be like, oh, you know, G2 are going to lose again, because this game's still wide open. It can swing either way.
No,
ANX is going to be a big factor too.
Yeah, ANX need to keep doing what they have been doing. And just like you said there, Trundle scales really well into the late game. If we kind of advance the timer 10 minutes, G2 ideally want to be in a position. Hang on, not there.
Dance around here is Trick. Oh, dodges out of the way of the cocoon as PvP Styles gets kicked back to Mythy. The ultimate comes down, but Liquid only gets a couple of bounces, and back in goes the Lee Sin. Good pillar from Expect as PvP Styles is going to be taken down. Another Q lands, but Trick not going to follow.
G2 is tired of waking, and they bake the aggression upon themselves. They make the move, sidestep a couple of skill shots here. That is a weakness in this ANX composition. A lot of their spells are dodgeable.
I was going to say 18 minutes in the game. It's really nice to see you finally show up, Trick, but you did it when it counts. Now taking this advantage and moving it top lane. Oh, Rift Herald first.
Rift Herald first, but it's a little dangerous here. Smurf could contest here. Trick pretty low, no kick.
There's so much AoE damage. The brand ultimate is down, however.
Oh, Liquid lands a nice double pillar of fire there.
Again, there's so much AoE damage, it's very dangerous to funnel yourself into the tiny little coliseum like that. So good disengage from G2.
But yeah, the lack of proactivity on the side of Albus NoX Luna leaves a window where G2 can at least try and equalize the game. Over eager, of course, to go for that Rift Herald, but we need to see more of these pickoffs, you know, where they use the pressure in one lane to at least get vision and then make a pickoff, because as we were talking about earlier, G2 is scaling fine. In the mid game, an Orianna Trundle Ezreal composition can 3v5 teamfights.
Well, Kira grabs another blue buff. We'll head back to that mid lane. Expect clearing out some Krugs. Things slowing down once again. 1,500 gold the lead. G2, they do look comfortable. They look fine. Just waiting for that time where they can take over.
Yeah, it's just a tough composition to play. There's almost no playmaking ability outside of Trick really having to outplay his opponents, because Lee Sin, without any assistance, is pretty telegraphed. So you need to go for the flanks, the kick flashes, etc.
They do have a good ball delivery system in terms of, you know, placing the ball on Trick. So like you said, he's still that primary engage tool, but you also have Mythy in tandem with that. So able to use the Karma speed, get Lee Sin in position. So still hard to execute, but they do have options.
Yeah. Later on, though, G2 is looking to kite. We talked a little bit about it in Champions League, but as Expect is finishing up this item builds, also the recipient of both kills here, so that speaks volumes for G2's mid-game plans. They want to put Expect on the side lane, have him push, and then once the objective contention starts, that's when GT want to kite backwards. It's really hard for Steos, Kira, or even Liquid to reach and stunlock anybody if G2 is moving backwards.
And we all know what Trundle can do in a split push scenario as well come the late stages of the game. Can hold on to that if they would like to, but Albus NoX, even in almost every single lane as far as CS, only about 5 in it at the maximum. G2 moving up towards the top side. Looks like this is where the next turret will be aimed for.
They don't know that it's a 3v3, however. PvP Stayhouse still hasn't been spotted by that ward, though there is one around the corner.
Yeah, but they can expect it, though. Usually when you have your jungler somewhere in the mid-game, the opposing jungler will be there too. There's no reason for him to be bot lane right now. Has been spotted out too, so you get confirmation on the expectation. Now it becomes a vision war.
But now G2 just need to buy up enough of Albus NoX's time that Trundle can continue to abuse Smurf in that bot lane.
Yeah, the problem is it very rarely results in
abusing, but the tower is what he wants. If Smurf can hold the creep wave in front of it, however, pull like a Shin.
That's kind of the battle here. That's why this Trundle also goes for a very lifesteal heavy build, because you want to hit the tower, get hit yourself, and then lifesteal up here. But now Perks.
Oh, there's the shockwave Kira, can't flash it. It's a decent cocoon, but in goes Trick. The egg will be available. PvP Styles, can he protect it? It gets booted back. That's not how you treat an egg, as Perks is going to be able to take down the bird.
I love the spin ultimate that comes by. Let me get a piece of that action right there. And again, it's another great play set up by Perks and Trick to get them going.
Yeah, good position on the shockwave too here. It was reactionary flash out from Kira, but the wrong direction. He still got hit by the shockwave, and that spelled his early demise, because there was very easy follow-up on the Q from Trick there. So that play could have went a whole lot different there. Let's watch this again here. I like the way that he manipulates the movement from Perks with his wall and then lands a Q every time. But look at the ball location and the shock, the flash, yeah. Wrong direction. You gotta watch where the ball is and go opposite. You can't go all the way over here. Good side steps from Perks though on a follow-up as well. runs out of mana. Race against time.
Yeah. And a little bit of a miscommunication. It's like, just tell me if you're going to kick him back. It's an egg. It's not going anywhere.
6 seconds.
Raj flies past. Well, that's true. That's a very good point. Now PvP Steos hanging around. The Ocean Drake is live, and it looks like G2 wants to get in on these dragons.
Yeah, just look at the confidence now of G2 stepping forward. You also have Sven, who's completed his big 2-item core, as well as has his CDR boot.
Yep.
So G2, they know that they're strong right now and they want to fight.
And right there, that ball is just going to prevent anybody from walking in. The zone from Perkz makes it so hard. This composition from ANX is so good at defending areas, but it's so hard for them to walk in and contest objectives themselves here. So it is all about setup, all about vision. They're actually going in for the congestion.
Yeah, cute little cocoon is going to land. Licorice getting some damage in. The exhaust comes down, but he's not going to be able to steal it. PvP Steos gets taken by Trick.
And this is where the inexperience of the roster shines through. They could have just yielded, but they go in for the 50-50.
And now they also have the inside track on this mid lane here. Perkz and Trick zoning away the wave clear and Kira, so it should also be a mid tower for them, a 1-2 punch.
Big, out of wards.
The flash, yeah.
He had one.
Sometimes you just got to use the flash. Get yourself out of there, but that is going to spell the turret here in the mid lane, most likely. Culling is going to come in. He's pretty optimistic as Kira takes another one. Doesn't have the passive. Oh, the bounce! Bounce explodes on the passive, and Licorice gets revenge.
Oh, Perkz flashes away, but he does it while the bolt is chasing him, so he actually puts himself next to another target. Inexperience of playing against this brand pick altogether. Perkz ends up dying there. He went for the cheeky kind of make them forget about your Orianna ball and let them walk into it and ulti, but on the back end there was so much damage.
And in the end, it does mean that Albus NoX do front a successful defense of their mid-tier tower, so still not losing as much control on the map as it could have been. This is auspicious.
Yeah, optimistic one could say. The Baron is taking a fair bit of damage.
Trick is in base. They have no idea this is happening, and the jungler is far away.
Yep, no vision whatsoever. The Baron down to 3,000, 2,000, 1,000 health. That's going to be Albus NoX taking another Baron.
Albus NoX Luna with the gutsy shock call. How would you expect it? These guys just randomly contest the dragon one time and feed you a kill. And a minute later, they sneak a genius Baron here, looking at the vision, circling out a few wards.
Yep, that is 2 times in a row now.
And take a look at Licorice's items right now. Sitting on a needlessly large rod, the fact that that brand is putting out so much damage that they're able to even contest a Baron that early with that few members.
So Brand has insanely much damage. The problem is that the guy is really immobile and he can't offer any support for his teammates with his build. But it is an incredibly potent pick if you can actually allow him to play to the full potential. The problem is late game he gets popped really easy, so he has to be careful. But it is a good build, and it also adds a lot of crowd control in the team fights if he finishes that Rylai's Crystal Scepter.
Yeah, a lot of AoE damage available. AoE slow will be very important. Albus NoX, this is a strategy, guys. This is a strategy. Lose mid-game team fight, take Baron. Question mark, question mark, question mark, profit. Like, win the game. Like, I don't understand, but it worked before. Looks to be working now.
We'll put that one on the drawing board, Atlas.
Yeah, look, I may be a little bit overly keen, but I'm excited about new strategies.
But this means that pressure now with the Baron, they need to make use of it. They need to start sieging. And again, it comes down to their composition being very low range. It's hard to kind of engage into them because they have so many disengage options. You know, they have the Anivia, they have the Cocoon, but actually approaching a tower is still very scary.
The way to do it for them is to use the fact that Kira actually puts a lot of points into that Crystallize.
Try to wall them off from it.
Yeah. We're not gonna use the build a wall reference here, but you're gonna use that W and then force people to either walk into your skill shots or put them away from the turret so you can actually approach safely and all attack.
At the moment, not too many turrets being taken here by Albus NoX.
Because they're trying to set it up right now. So they're applying pressure. They've got the triangle vision down in the blue buff, and they're just pushing mid and pushing bot. They've now got the big wave stacked up, so gonna get good damage on this tower, although G2 are in position.
Another double pillar.
And that's the thing, whenever people defend minion waves, they move in predictable patterns here. And that means they're gonna eat skill shots and damage as they do. Especially with Baron buff, where the minions are stronger and it takes them longer to clear, they actually have to get very close.
And you just keep ping-ponging between these two lanes. Either you're gonna catch someone trying to cheat through your vision because you've got control of the jungle, or you're gonna start chipping away at these health bars and force them to give up the objective.
They're going all in on this one though, because there is no mid push though. Very heavy push here on the bot lane turret. Nobody can rotate mid right now because the wave is not being pushed here, but G2 looking to defend. It's so annoying. Look at the zone from Anivia. And all these missed skill shots, they're zoning skill shots.
I like to think that it's non-committal CC being thrown out as opportunistically as possible there, Crepo. I think that's what you meant.
I appreciate
Opt-in
Crepo.
CC.
As Albus NoX move over, steal a blue buff. Another.
Yeah, look for the wall right now.
Wall.
Yeah. Even if they are at the back end, it actually gives them access.
Oh,
Juke
not this time.
Shockwave.
And look at the ultimate from Liquid, just saying, get out of the way of this turret. We are taking it down. Half health on G2.
And suddenly this game has swung very wide open in Albus NoX's favor. Their Baron buff is going to eventually fall off here, but we're starting to balloon this lead farther and farther. This is starting to look scary for G2.
Yeah, but 4 minutes ago, we were talking about how ANX didn't have the power to set up vision to make their composition shine. Because they snuck that Baron, they have thrown open the game with enough of a gold lead that they have regained that power that even after the buff fades, they can still keep playing towards their composition strength. And these walls, either they keep them out and you get the tower, or you keep them in and you kill them and you still get the tower here. Kira is really fundamental towards this sieging.
Trick actually picks the angle there, but decides not to go in.
And it's so hard for G2 to engage on them when they approach the tower like this. You're pretty much entirely reliant on Trick getting into that side flank, you know, having the Orianna ball with him. But otherwise, you've got the pillar, you have the insect kick. That's it.
There is 2 ways to win a fight. It's either going in from the front with Trick and putting the ball on him and then praying that you can get a flash while the ball is buffering the ulti, or you have a double flank. Trick from one side, TP from Expect from the other side, and you hope to surprise, because if you get close to Anivia, she dies. The problem is, she is so strong at keeping you away from her.
I do like what Storm-Rated Surge did for Anivia, though. It does give her a lot more mobility in the fights once she's hit that E. Which does a heck of a lot of damage.
Now, Liquid has to be careful. He's built pure damage here. 1 QE combo from Perks puts him at about 35 health.
Does he have to be careful, or do they have to be careful?
This is the thing.
Are they trapped in with Liquid?
Exactly.
Or is Liquid trapped in with him? You know?
The kamikaze brand. Do not underestimate it.
Deep teleport coming from Smurf in the top lane. He is very far up that lane.
Extraordinarily deep, actually, as Albus NoX looking to try and converge. Smurf comes over to the side. A Miracle cops a bit of damage from that True Shot barrage. Smurf charges up the ultimate. Oh, brilliant interruption from Expect as he gets shoved into the wall. The steal on the Dragon. Double man shockwave, though, as Albus NoX probably just want to get out of this one, but no, not this time. Good sidestep from Expect as Smurf playing frontline. He's very tanky. PvP Stayhouse looking over to the side. Wants that one cocoon, but doesn't land it.
And this is the thing, they got what they came for. They took the Mountain Dragon, and this is so Albus NoX. We got the objective, and now we just want to kill you.
Just one more kill.
Yeah, no, we're all here. Let's fight. Like, what's going on?
And they had the inside track on the mid lane. They could have just walked away and play with the
Why rotate when you kill somebody?
Yeah.
Good response from G2 here, though.
Yeah, they take the boss early. And also see these both compositions love kiting, but they hate being kited here. And that's what happened in that fight too. Everybody was trying to force people to walk forward.
Sven. Glacial Storm's there, but not quite in range. That crit damage.
So we just got the damage stat for Liquid, and he has done more damage this game than his mid laner.
Oh my goodness. And he's been doing a lot of damage. Like, Kira's been doing work.
Sometimes you can swap roles with your mid laner as a support. That's entirely conceivable strategy. And usually
now
evolves,
you're the one memeing. What is this?
and it usually evolves in Anivia too.
Oh my god.
Utility, man.
That was actually beautifully well coordinated with your history there, sir. Well, Trick now going to be taking down a Rift Scuttler. Let's try and get back to the action at hand as Kira, bumps him out of the way. Trick secures the Rift Scuttler. That's the battle that we need to be talking about.
It is very important, though, because Baron's about to spawn.
Yeah.
So actually taking that Scuttle Crab is a big win.
And another win right there is that Expect still has his teleport. So we're looking at about 2 or 3 minutes with Scuttle Crab control and TP advantage on a team that has more refined macro usually. Let's call ANX unpredictable, creative.
Trendsetters.
Yeah, trendsetters. And G2 the more playbook-centric, macro-oriented team. But right now, trends are being set.
Yeah, Smurf's looking for Perks, throws him up into the air, gets a flank. Oh my goodness, into the wall! Smurf secures the kill. Liquid actually is the one that grabs it. That was a beautiful pick.
Oh, I bloody love that combo. That was so smart. Knock him up, force the flash, wall into wall stun with the Poppy and Nivea combo. Oh, so creative from ANX.
Are trends being set or expectations being shattered? They're starting the Baron right now. Tricks on the backside.
Look at the damage that this Baron is taking as well as Trick gets stunned. He wants to get the magical steal. He can get in there with the safeguard, but they're holding off on the damage.
W can cancel the safeguard.
Trouble. Kira's over the wall. The kick comes in. no health as well as Smurf's looking for a flank, but Albus NoX get everything they want.
They lock them off the Baron, and they'll be able to reset the recalls and deal with expect. Albus NoX, again, opening this game up, swinging it huge in their favor.
I love the steadfast presence. It just blocks anything of Lee Sin. Q follow-up, nope. W, nope. You have to flash. And look right here, Perks. What can he do? He flashes into wall, into wall stun, into Q, even if he somehow walks around here. This is just a beautiful combo.
Not to mention the fact that Albus NoX all did it at the same time, then made this play and knew exactly how to execute it.
Yeah, and it was smart, because they don't commit on the Baron. They find Trick, they isolate him, and they say, whatever you do, don't let him get into the pit. Smurf gets a wall stun right here, over the wall. Then he holds W for a second. Okay, right here. Right here. There we go. Thank you. They're slowing it down even more. And then Trick tries to get in here, but he gets cancelled by the steadfast presence. It's such a slick combo, really utilizing their kit.
Yeah, and turning on the damage onto the Baron once again as well as that was happening, knowing that they had a small window to play with, everything just being orchestrated by Albus NoX.
I cannot get over how cool that was.
Damn right. Well, this is not quite as cool for Albus NoX fans as PvP South does flash over, uses the pillar of his opponent to create distance.
And if you would have told me ahead of the tournament, I would be happy to see the #1 team in my region get smashed 0-3. I probably wouldn't have believed it, but this is such a fantastic game, and what an upset here for Albus NoX, and what it means for their region, what it means for wildcard teams in general. They actually opted in to potentially make it out of groups for the first time in World's history.
Yeah, and this isn't a joke. This is just incredible play from these guys that's brand new on the world stage. Perks taking a lot of poke damage. This siege still needs to complete for Albus NoX. We're only 34 minutes in. We're getting very excited. They still have to close this one out.
And in the IWCQ that got Albus NoX here, they were really well known for their team fighting ability and just that synergy and coordination. So it's so beautiful to see it orchestrated so wonderfully on this international stage like this. This combo, this composition, this is sick.
All right, look for the ball. Perks is looking to aggressively defend with a shockwave right here, especially.
Oh, in goes kicks Kira into the shockwave. Still able to get some damage down as Liquid almost just solo kills Sven. Massive damage. They've traded 1 for 1. This is still huge for Albus NoX. Take down the turret. This is fine as Mythy can't get the snare. Steos not going to find the cocoon either. Both top laners still just unaware of what's going on elsewhere on the map.
Suddenly,
one teleport available.
Nowhere. Trick came flying in and finds the kick onto Kira, who had lost his egg in the earlier exchange here. So that was a really good opener because they were at the brink of losing the tower. And at that point, ANX could take it slow again and really isolate that inhibitor.
So they break the inhib line, but the Elder Dragon is spawning now in 22 seconds. Albus NoX just need to reset their position and just run towards that objective, start setting up their vision.
All right, look, everybody's looking at the ball. It's like, don't get ulted, don't get shockwave, ball disappears. Yeah, really good Q with the combo. Kira playing at the wrong side. You can't play near that wall. You gotta have vision of the Lee Sin. Yes, he survived very long. Liquid almost solos out Sven in the top side too. But that's a really great hold by G2.
And in reality, you just trade Kira for G2's health bars, force them off the tower, and get what you came for by breaking that inhib line.
The thing is, how many teams have been used to playing against a 5-threat composition? It just doesn't happen all that often.
Again, if we're talking about the roller coaster of Lee Sin's relevance in a game, you know, he kind of has that mid-game power trough, depending on if he gets ahead or not.
Good point.
But late game, it just takes that one kick. If he doesn't get a massive one kick with an Orianna ball, like, even if you delete Liquid, you're still dealing with the Nivea, you're still dealing with the Lucian, the Pop.
That you talk about him as being the priority target.
He's doing so much
Gotta
damage.
kill the support.
Yeah, gotta kill the support.
But yeah, playing against Albus NoX Luna seems like a roller coaster right now. Look at the build too. Rylai's into Void Staff here.
Whoop.
Really helping these team fights.
We didn't mean it, Elder Dragon.
No. Oh, don't hurt us.
Please go home.
I'm just a support. I'm actually not mid-brand.
Elder Dragon's just angry at how much damage Brand does.
I think ANX need to wait until...
Oh, good double stun as a Miracle throws down the culling. Good shield comes out of Mythia's Sven, gets himself to safety. But yet to really break out as the ultimate doesn't find anyone from Smurf. Actually hasn't thrown it just yet. Good wallbang on to expect. Takes a heck of a lot of damage.
Ulti though, so he gets out. Re-engage here. So dangerous to...
Oh, goes in. Ego Trick doesn't get the kick that time as Smurf evacuates the rest of the team. Good wallbang onto Trick to punish him for the failed engage.
These fights fights have to be taken so slowly, but in a second, split second, they can get so explosive. Trick goes in, doesn't find a kick here, but Perkz still has ultimate available, and everybody is dancing around that Orianna ball.
That said, PvP Stejos is still incredibly low, so approaching the Elder Dragon still kind of a risky maneuver here, which is why they're being so respectful.
Oh, another one! Mithy in trouble as expect. Might have that GA push. Kira gets hit by another shockwave, but it's just not enough. That ultimate from Liquid did ridiculous damage. A Miracle not quite able to get close enough to do damage to these G2 members, but this is on a knife edge.
Sven looking to kite and poke and poke and poke, and when the engage fails, G2 actually get the upper hand because this Ezreal is ramping up to late game.
Oh, on a ward. Top lane inhibitor is in trouble on the side of G2. They will need to go back and deal with it. Perkz is the one with the job.
We're coming into a scenario where across from these 5v5s, if G2...
Oh no, Liquid possibly in trouble. The rest of the team are here. Expect, he gets walled in. The GA is going to be popped. The teleport from Smurf, and he's waiting with the heroic charge. See you later, Trundle.
Two members of G2 Esports are in base. Their jungler and their mid laner are not even present, and Expect goes for an aggressive invade. Poor team communication. Albus NoX Luna is playing more like a team than G2 in this game.
And I was just about to say, G2 can look to win a team fight if they can survive the burst damage and start layering that poke with Sven and Orianna. But if they just walk head first into certain destruction...
Yeah, I just want to talk to you about the 8,000 gold lead that Albus NoX have as well. That is massive for this squad. The items that have come in, there's a Void Staff on Liquid now. He's a legit mid laner.
He's actually had that for a while. He's probably looking for his next item right now. Trick can't W out. Right now he can.
Yeah, okay.
The asterisk here, though, is that yes, it is a massive gold lead, but we're coming to that point of the game where the gold lead really doesn't mean so much. So, again, when everyone's running around on their core itemization of 5, 6+ items, it can go either way.
Look for the wall here. They actually want to funnel them. Trick has the ball. They're looking for a combo. Perkz, he has to press R.
Smurf gets the juggler out of here, and that's Elder Drake for Albus NoX. Can they start the fight, though? They're relatively low. They're trying to get out. Good inspire from Mithy with that mantra for the speed for everyone. No Q to land. There's the flash. Cocoon immediately cleansed from Perkz' Trick. Caught out of... There's another one from Smurf. The Lee Sin explodes. A Miracle gets shockwave, but that's only one target. In goes Stejos. The Q onto Perkz. Sven! He's been through Perkz as well. Albus NoX take 3 for nothing.
Every time G2 think they've made it out alive, there's a flash poppy and a wall interaction or steadfast presence to cancel the gap closer. The chase potential from this lineup is actually hidden very well within the composition. You wouldn't expect them to be able to chase this well.
Unbelievable. The inhibitor is going to go down. Albus NoX looking to finish the game. Only Expect and Mithy alive. Expect has to flash. The wall's there. The Nexus turret's getting decimated.
That's it. Last Nexus goes down.
NoX 2 and 1 in the group. What beasts from the CIS region.
The only team the LCL representative have lost to are the tournament favorites to win.
Let that sink in, everyone, because that was some of the coolest League of Legends I have ever seen in my life.
They have now taken down both North America and Europe.
They're looking to be Europe's next hope, to be perfectly honest.
I just can't get over how fun those interactions were. You're looking at a composition that was supposed to kite, but these guys, they just deserve. It wasn't cheese. It wasn't a snowball. It wasn't based off one single action. It was based out of good team fights, clearly knowing their composition better than the opposing team. Liquid's brand ultimate in the final fight slowed everybody enough for Stejos to catch up, for Smurf to go for the flash, and everybody worked together and smashed G2 Esports.
And that's the key word that I want to underline. It's plays, playmaking. The fact that they went for such a gutsy Baron call.
Yeah.
Swinging the game wildly in their favor, but that's back-to-back games. Now CLG and G2, where the gold lead has swung back and forth, and LCL has proven that they can play from behind, that they can play from ahead, and that they're here to win.
But they never showed the interaction. Like, if you ask any pro player, does Poppy E work into wall from Anivia? They'll tell you yes. But you forget about that until you've been shown that once or twice, and they held it until the late game, until they found the pick onto Perkz a couple of times, and then there was the follow-up. Suddenly, this brand ultimate starts spreading throughout the team, and everybody who tries to walk away, but it's actually a revitalized Crystal Scepter, which now on AoE effects souls way more than it used to back in the day. So nobody can actually run away once these guys start winning a
There's
fight.
a lot about remembering as well, because one of the reasons why Lee Sin fell out of the meta was Poppy. Steadfast Presence was like, no, you
Hard
can't
counter.
be a champion anymore. Like, it's a direct no button, and we saw that demonstrated, but at the perfect times from this team.
And think about the execution of that, the fact that the Olaf was banned, that the Elise was taken away, getting him on the Lee Sin, and then having the Poppy there for that. Just so well orchestrated across the board. And again, it bolsters this idea that they're not just winning because they're getting this random snowball. It's not just something cheesy. It's collective, it's thought out, and it's executed from the draft phase.
Yeah, just unbelievable play, but let's pass it off to Shox, who's standing by with the IWC 1v1 champion, Kira.
Thank you so much, guys. Well-deserved applause because that was just fun to watch. Talk me through that fun, amazing composition, but it must have also been hard to execute and why you went for it versus G2.
Okay, we thought like we need to pick our one-trick pony champions. Brand open, take it. Anivia open, take it. No, and Poppy, something like this.
And it worked out fantastically. You mentioned that Brand. Yesterday we talked to Liquid and he explained how you like to make it entertaining to watch. How is it to play with him? And I imagine he always wants to go in.
Okay, it's like challenge. I need to do more damage than support Brand. Today I did this. I did more than 30. No, 300. Like something like this. It was close, really close.
Yeah, the last update we got is that he was actually out damaging you, I think, just before the end. But do you think you made it?
No, he didn't. Like last team fight, he did more damage because his ultimate and passive was too good.
It was too good. Your strategy was really good, and you are in prime position to get out of this group. If you think about it, all you have to do is beat G2 and CLG again. You don't even need to beat the Rocks Tigers. What do you think of your chances of getting out?
Okay, chances still 50-50, or get or not. I can't do anything with this, but yeah, it's higher because we already won 2 games, need to win 2 more, and finally, group stage done.
Yeah, and then you're in the quarterfinals. Is there anything you want to say to these guys? Because over the past couple of days, all these people have become fans of Albus NoX Luna.
I hope you like our crazy play style. Nice. It's really nice. We will do something like this more and more to win this world.
There we go. Super entertaining to watch and effective. Thank you so much, Kira. ANX with another win. Take it away, Dash.
Thank you very much, Shox. What a win there for Albus NoX Luna. And I don't think we can stress Krepo's point enough that this wasn't cheese. This wasn't a single fight swinging one way. This was a well-played game from start to finish from this squad. And quite an interesting composition that they built. And the way they played it was stunning.
Yeah, they laned well. They were able to actually pull off the synergies between their champions really well. And by the time that they got the itemization that they needed, they just steamrolled with really aggressive calls that you don't expect.
And they had a lot of inbuilt synergies, which is why I do have to criticize G2 a little bit about giving them their comfort picks.
Right.
There are a lot of champions that you can trade back and forth, and G2 is a very diverse team that can play almost anything. So why not ban the champions you're not going to play, but the other team is incredibly comfortable on? Because you saw once Kira and the Crit and Smurf were playing those 3 together, they had the synergies completely down.
Yeah, I think G2 here, they went for a gamble. They went for a lot of scaling compositions, the Orianna, the Ezreal, but they wanted to outplay them late game. Albus NoX did not let them do that. They did the objective sneak. They did that against CLG, and they're doing it here again. The Dragon and then the Baron. Nobody expects that.
I mean, even before that, that Baron sneak, right? It was just very clean play in that they understood getting Anivia to that late game state. As long as they secured that first Dragon or 2, they were in a position to wave clear for days, let their support scale up in damage, which is a crazy thing to say on the world stage that you would actually wait for that to happen, but they did it, and it pays off.
No, I absolutely love it. And I think that one of the really fun facts about this game, just watching how they play it, the crowds really... One of the crazy things about the game was actually the fact that they were able to utilize the W, as Atlas has mentioned, to just deny Lee Sin. The only playmaking opportunity, as we were talking about, was either Trick or Orianna with a really nice ball position. Perks looked completely off, and without Perks and Trick being stopped, there was nothing G2 could do.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about the built-in synergies for this team. I want to dial in on the decisive call, plus the Baron that helped this win for Albus NoX. Here's another look brought to you by Acer.
And this is another thing that they were doing so well. Smurf was on the same page as the rest of their team, and even Kira was on the same page as well. Normally you'd expect the Anivia ult to be on the Baron to burst it down faster, but they didn't care about the speed of taking the Baron. They cared about the security of taking the Baron. They wanted to burst Sven off with damage, which Kira was able to accomplish, and then Smurf prevented the Lee Sin from being able to come in with the Poppy's steadfast presence. It was a really well executed play.
And let's not forget that that Baron there followed what was a great initiation in the mid lane with that Anivia wall and the Poppy. So again, those synergies that we talked about. Player of the game, gonna go to Kira this time around on that Anivia. It was not an easy decision because all of the members played well. Smurf probably getting honorable mention this time around.
Yeah, and I just want to say we're probably witnessing the birth of a contending region right here. I can't imagine what the guys are feeling there in LCL. They must be so happy. Like LMS was a wildcard region a couple of years back, but really it's the belief that you can be a contender, you can actually win a championship, that's going to drive the entire region forward.
Yeah, I don't know if it's belief anymore, it's reality. They're contenders here to get out of this group.
But on the other side of the coin, G2, I mean, it's got to be rough for them. Going 0-3 as Europe's #1 seed and just really not having a single footing in this game whatsoever. And the only time that they looked good was yesterday against Rocks, and it was completely dependent on the early game by Trick. And it seems like they just rely way too much on key members.
Yeah, and I just want to mention a few things here because I do think their performance is exceptional. 2 wins at Worlds ties the record for as many wins as a wildcard region has had at the World Championship. But also I want to talk about last year. We had a team in Cloud9 that was 3-0 in week 1 and still didn't make it out of groups, which is why I like the fact that Kira was saying their chances are 50-50 because they're not saying they've done it yet. They're not relaxing in any sense of the word. They know they have to continue to compete if they want to make history and make it into the quarterfinals as a wildcard region.
That's very key. And then, of course, if you do look at the flip side with G2 starting 0-3, I mean, it's going to be a very big hill for them to climb if they want to get out of this group. When you think about the fact that they're going to have to play the Rocks Tigers again, and that's, you know, probably an expected loss coming into the week. You know, aside from that, fun little statistic in terms of Liquid's damage, because I know a lot of people are going to be curious. He was 350 damage away from being the highest on his team in that game.
I think there'll be a little bit more support brand today in solo queue. It's probably going to be a meta pick soon.
This gives birth to all the guys that say, yeah, carry supports, that's the way to go. And now we're going to have to deal with that all the time. So I'm not really looking forward to it.
He did build his Sightstone first.
Yes,
Remember, that was a very critical
for everyone in solo queue at home, still build the Sightstone first. All right, well, that was a crazy game. Stay tuned because Counterlogic Gaming takes to the stage against Rocks Tigers right after this.